Next, we are going to do a subplot C and D. We're going to do them together, and we are not going to use the applet, and we're not going to use table B. What we're going to do is we are going to select 12 SRS. We're going to select 12 samples randomly. So what you need to do is basically follow the instructions I'm going to show you. So just ignore the instructions in C and D. Okay, so I'll show you how to do C and D slightly differently, manually. Okay, now here it is. So the goal of C and D is to construct a sampling distribution of the 12 sample means. Basically, what I'm saying is I want you to draw a histogram of 12 samples. We are going to select 12 samples, and that means we are going to have 12 sample means, and you're going to draw a histogram of those 12 sample means. So ignore the instructions given in the question, C and D. Instead, follow the steps below. Okay. Now the first step is we have to select 12 samples. Each sample has size 4. Then we calculate the sample mean for each of these 12 samples. Now, so I have just asked Excel to give me a bunch of random digits. So I asked Excel, give me 4 numbers randomly. So Excel give me these 4 numbers. So what you need to do is just to copy what I have, 5, 9, 1, 8. So you are going to use the same numbers as I do so that we can have the same histogram. So Excel gave me these 4 random numbers, 5, 9, 1, 8. So what you need to do is come back here. So let me see, put 2 things together. So for student number 5, the exam score is 72. So we have selected student number 9. So student number 9's exam score is 75. And we have also selected student number 1. The exam score is 94. And the last student in our sample, in our first sample, is student number 8. So student number 8, the score is 51. Then you find the mean of these 4 numbers, 72 plus 75 plus 94 plus 51. And divide by 4, because I have 4 numbers there, and you should get 73. Okay, use your calculator. Next, we're going to repeat this process. We're going to ask Excel to give us 4 numbers, and then we find the corresponding sample mean. So I already asked Excel to do that. So Excel gave me 8, 5, 9, 10. So that means in our second sample, we have selected student number 8. So student number 8 has exam score of 51. And student number 5 has exam score of 72. And student number 9 has exam score of 75. And student number 10 has exam score of 59. Okay. So what did we do? What have we done? So far, we have selected 2 samples. For the first sample, we selected these 4 students. For the second sample, we selected these 4 students. And then so for the second sample, we're going to find the sample average. Okay. So you use your calculator to figure that out. So now we have 2 sample means. The first one is 73, and the second one, whatever that is. We're going to repeat this process a few more times until we get 12 sample means. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you all these random numbers, and you just copy, and you're going to find the corresponding sample means. So for the third sample, we have selected student number 1, student number 6, student number 8, and student number 4. And we keep going. So for the 7th sample, we have selected 2, 8, 7, 5. For the 8th sample, we have selected 7, 9, 4, 8. For the 9th sample, we have selected 10, 8, 4, 5, 8, 6, 3, 2, 4, 2, 9, 6. In the last sample, we have selected student number 5, student number 7, student number 1, student number 2. Okay. So what you need to do is just to figure out what are the scores that we have selected and find the sample means, find the corresponding sample mean for that sample. So you're going to have 12 sample means because we have 12 samples. Okay. After you finish that step, then you're going to do the frequency table. So I'm going to give you all the classes so that you and I will have the same histogram. So you just copy what I'm writing. Now, because we want to have a histogram of sample means x bar, so we have 12 sample means here in this column, in the last column. So we need to group those sample means. So I'm giving you all these groupings. So you just use them so that you and I will have the same histogram. And then you have to count how many sample means fall within this range, how many sample means fall within 60 to 65. Okay. So you know this is not 60, it should be 59.5, 64.9, 69.5, 74.9. All the counts should add up to 12 because we have 12 sample means. After you have finished this frequency table of sample means, then you can draw the histogram. So let me quickly show you how to do that. Now be very careful, because we are doing the histogram of sample means x bar, so the horizontal axis is x bar. X bar is the sample mean, but that means it's the mean exam scores of samples of size 4. So we have many samples. We have 12 samples, so we have 12 sample means, and we are going to draw a histogram to represent the frequency of these 12 sample means. So the classification 55 to 60. So this is 60, 65, 70, 75, and this is still frequency. So then you have to figure out what's the frequency for the first bar and what's the frequency of the second bar, and this will be your histogram of sample means. So this histogram is also called the sampling distribution of the sample mean. And then after you finish this histogram, then you're done with this classwork.